Good evening. Tonight, we're witnessing a moment that will be remembered in the history of aviation, a turning point that will echo across continents and industries for years to come. In a move that has stunned the global business community, China has announced it will permanently halt all future aircraft deals with Boeing. This isn't just a routine business decision, it's a seismic shift that will reshape the very landscape of international aviation. The implications are enormous. This is more than a business move. It's a geopolitical earthquake with global consequences, reverberating through boardrooms, governments, and stock markets around the world. For decades, Boeing and Airbus have fiercely competed for dominance in China's rapidly expanding aviation market, each vying for lucrative contracts and strategic partnerships. But now, that story has changed dramatically. The balance of power is shifting before our eyes. China's decisively turning away from Boeing, instead embracing Airbus and its own rising star, COMAC, the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China. This signals not just a change in suppliers, but a bold step towards self-reliance and technological leadership. This decision rewrites decades of partnership, cancels billions of dollars in existing and future deals, and sends shockwaves from the heart of Boeing in Seattle all the way to the bustling streets of Shanghai. The ripple effects will be felt by workers, suppliers, and entire communities. But this is about more than just airplanes. It's about power, ambition, and the emergence of a new world order, one where economic and technological influence are being redefined. For Boeing, this is a devastating blow. The company is now locked out of what was once its biggest growth market, facing uncertainty and tough questions about its future role in global aviation. For Airbus, it's nothing short of a historic victory, an opportunity to expand its footprint and strengthen its ties with the world's second-largest economy. And for COMAC, this is a powerful declaration of arrival. The company is stepping onto the world stage ready to challenge the established giants and shape the future of flight. Stay with us as we unpack the full story behind this unprecedented move, one of the biggest business and political stories of our time, with consequences that will reach far beyond the skies. Boeing's relationship with China began over 50 years ago, marking the dawn of a transformative era in global aviation. The arrival of the first Boeing 707 in China was more than just a delivery. It was a powerful symbol of cooperation between East and West, opening the door to new possibilities for both nations. In the 1970s, Boeing delivered its first jets to China, playing a pivotal role in building the nation's fledgling aviation infrastructure. These aircraft connected Chinese cities like never before, shrinking distances and helping to modernize the country's transportation network. For decades, flying in China meant flying Boeing. The company's jets became a familiar sight at airports across the country, carrying millions of passengers and helping to fuel China's rapid economic growth. As China's economy soared, so did Boeing's fortunes. At one point, an astonishing 1 in every 4 jets Boeing built was destined for a Chinese airline, making China one of Boeing's most important markets worldwide. Boeing invested heavily in China's future, training thousands of pilots, building state-of-the-art facilities, and even manufacturing key airplane components locally. This deep integration created jobs, transferred technology, and fostered a sense of shared progress. For many years, this partnership was celebrated as a model of international business success, demonstrating how collaboration could benefit both sides and set new standards for the global aviation industry. But beneath the surface, change was quietly brewing. Shifting priorities and new ambitions began to reshape the relationship, even as the world watched. Geopolitical tensions and China's growing push for technological self-sufficiency started to alter the landscape. The once stable partnership faced new challenges as both sides reconsidered their long-term goals. Airbus emerged as a formidable rival, eager to claim a share of the booming Chinese market. At the same time, Beijing's ambitions to develop its own homegrown aircraft industry grew stronger, signaling a shift in the balance of power. The seeds of competition were sown, both from international players like Airbus and from within China itself, as companies like COMAC began to rise. The era of unchallenged American dominance in China's skies was coming to an end. The aviation landscape was evolving, and Boeing's once secure position was no longer guaranteed. Boeing's future in China, once bright and full of promise, now appeared increasingly uncertain. The company faced tough questions about its role in a rapidly changing market. The stage was set for a dramatic new chapter in the story of global aviation, one where old alliances would be tested and new competitors would rise to challenge the status quo. While Boeing led the charge in the early days of aviation in China, establishing a strong presence and reputation, Airbus played a different game, embedding itself deeply within China's burgeoning aviation industry. Instead of merely competing on sales, Airbus focused on building lasting relationships and partnerships. In a groundbreaking move, Airbus opened its first final assembly line outside Europe in Tianjin in 2008. This strategic decision was a masterstroke that not only created thousands of jobs, but also transferred valuable technology and expertise to the local workforce. This move signaled Airbus's unwavering commitment to building with China, not just selling to it. It was a clear message that Airbus was here to stay and grow alongside China. Encouraged by the government's policies, Chinese airlines began diversifying their fleets, incorporating more Airbus aircraft into their operations. Over the years, Airbus steadily gained ground, eventually splitting the market with Boeing by the late 2010s. This was a significant achievement, considering Boeing's historical dominance. Boeing's troubles with the 737 MAX, which led to global groundings, presented Airbus with a golden opportunity to further solidify its position. As Boeing's jets were grounded, Airbus ramped up production and signed massive deals with Chinese airlines, ensuring a steady flow of aircraft to meet the growing demand. Through these efforts, Airbus transformed from an underdog to an equal competitor, and then to a leader in the Chinese market. Years of careful planning, strategic investments, and fostering partnerships paid off handsomely for Airbus. Airbus's strategy of partnership and local investment proved decisive, allowing it to build a strong foundation in China. The European challenger was now poised to overtake its American rival, marking a significant shift in the aviation landscape. The balance of power in China's skies had shifted, with Airbus now playing a leading role in shaping the future of aviation in the region. The third force in this story is COMAC, China's own aerospace champion. Founded in 2008, COMAC was tasked with breaking the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. Its first project, the ARJ-21, gave China vital experience in building jets, but the real game-changer is the C919, designed to compete directly with the 737 and A320. After years of development, the C919 entered service in 2023, backed by huge government orders. While it still relies on some Western components, the C919 marks a milestone in China's quest for self-sufficiency. COMAC's protected growth in the vast domestic market has turned it into a real competitor. China's aviation ambitions are now taking flight. The decisive blow came today. China's Aviation Authority announced a permanent halt to new Boeing aircraft orders. The official reasons concerns over certification, safety, and delivery delays. This formalizes an unofficial freeze that began after two deadly 737 MAX crashes. China was the first to ground the MAX, signaling a new assertiveness in aviation safety. Even after recertification, trust was broken. Ongoing delays and geopolitical tensions only deepened the rift. Beijing's move is both a strategic and political message. China is protecting its interests and promoting its own champions. The era of Boeing in China is over. With Boeing out, China's market is now split between Airbus and COMAC. Chinese airlines are expected to convert canceled Boeing orders to Airbus, securing Airbus's dominance in foreign supply. Airbus is expanding its footprint, building a second assembly line in China. Meanwhile, COMAC is set to dominate domestic routes, with state-owned carriers ordering hundreds of C919s. The government's strategy: COMAC for domestic, Airbus for international and overflow. This new duopoly marks a new order in Chinese skies. The American giant is now on the outside looking in. The future belongs to Airbus and COMAC. The impact of China's decision goes far beyond aviation. For the US, it's a major economic blow. Boeing is America's top exporter, and China was its biggest customer. The loss threatens tens of thousands of American jobs and disrupts a vast supply chain. Politically, it marks a sharp escalation in US-China rivalry. The Boeing-China partnership once symbolized engagement. Its end signals deepening decoupling. Local economies tied to Boeing face uncertainty and potential layoffs. Globally, the move strengthens China-Europe ties, with Airbus as the main beneficiary. This could shift transatlantic relations as Europe's interests in China grow. The world of aviation, once a symbol of connection, is now a front line in global competition. The ripple effects will be felt for years. The skies have become a new arena for geopolitical rivalry. Experts say this move was years in the making. Boeing's missteps, Airbus's smart strategy, and China's political will all converged. While safety and delivery were cited, The real driver is China's industrial policy. With Airbus as a partner and COMAC rising, China no longer needs Boeing. This is economic statecraft. China is using its market to build a global champion. By guaranteeing COMAC orders, Beijing gives it the scale to compete worldwide. Experts agree. This is a permanent shift, not a negotiating tactic. Boeing may support existing fleets, but its days as a major supplier are over. The future of Chinese aviation will be built on Airbus and COMAC wings. The global industry must now adapt to a new reality. Tonight's events redraw the map of global aviation. We're moving from a Boeing-Airbus duopoly to a new era with China as a major force. Chinese travelers will fly COMAC domestically. Airbus will dominate international routes. This shift accelerates the race for next-generation aviation technology. Airbus, secure in China, can invest in future projects. COMAC will work to close the technology gap. For Boeing, it's an existential challenge. Locked out of its biggest market, it must adapt or fall behind. The rise of COMAC is a blueprint for other ambitious nations. The competition in the skies now mirrors the competition on the ground. The simple Boeing versus Airbus rivalry is over. A new, more complex age has begun. The decisions made today will echo for decades in aviation and beyond.